attacking side, Mech on the defending side, and it's a chance to stay alive, right? This is a little bit of hope for them, but G2 certainly have their work cut out from their perspective. This is not an easy game by any means, but they're certainly dark horses. It's something you have to say about G2, that they do thrive in these moments. You look at that roster, there's a couple of names that always stand out to me. Nukkye, okay, let's say he has a day. Let's say he has this one day where you get those performances. If it be on the Raze, be it on any other agent, this guy can deliver. AvovA, how clutch this man can be on occasion, and you can do the same for the roster. But across the board, I look at Mech and I think, well, every single one of them, right? They are just the absolute best at times. However, already first blood drawn, Chronicle removed, and this is off the back of a default. That's a perfect beginning. So a bit of a weird read here. You've got contact on A, you've got contact on B long. This is going to be quite tricky to read into for Mech.
I think on the back of the drone, they shouldn't really, and now actually on the back of the contact here, that should pull a player towards A. Redgar and Defo survive for the time being, but 4 G2 members on the other side of this.
Toxins going up.
Got to keep it clean on the way in, though. Rotation finally coming in, and that's perfect from Mixwell. Good start for him. Going to crack things open, once on one side and once on the other. So trade out comes in, but the site's really under control already. Sheydos has to relinquish control, but he couldn't make it out in time. They just down to Nats in a 1v4 presented, and it's unpleasant by all accounts in G2. Sharp, clean work. And if this kind of boosts Mixwell to have a good performance, now that's something I could really keep my eye toward. Now, Sheydos going to try and find the information here early on. Yeah, that's a key indicator, and that could then play in Chronicle potentially off the back, as now they know once again they're presented with the same conundrum. Okay, well, we know that Mixwell's over here somewhere. Not sure if they got the confirmation on the second as well. Well, Chronicle's going to be well aware it's not Mixwell alone anymore. Has to relinquish and kind of fall away from that, respect the early work. And I like this probing approach. It's not overly committed from G2, but they're doing that early fact-finding.
Again, now they will look to progress towards A site. Sorry, they're all going to drop. Actually going to reveal Defo up on the top, but down to 18 HP now. Going to
plays in
look
Redgar.
to play in Redgar on the lower level. A frenzy though, so could be overwhelmed pretty quickly, and Meddo doesn't even give him a chance.
No, little bit of a tag, but the heal's going to come in. And again, you're looking at chip damage. You're looking at ways to maybe work down this other roster, obviously, but G2 keeping themselves as a pack, not really allowing opportunities to be picked apart by the Sheriffs or the Frenzies, or even a classic or two, obviously the better pistol. So far, Meddo, good work from them. Going to keep them arm's length. AvovA just cleaning up, and Sheydos now. Last one standing. Can only take a couple bodies on the way down, but that's about it. 2 survive. 2 rifles survive through.
I guess they have something to lean back on, but not an awful lot behind this purchase.
And a switch up on early contact, nothing too surprising as now the rifles have come through, but Chronicle leaning a little bit more aggressively further forward, looking for maybe the one and done and TP away. Mixwell will be the one to check on it, so Chronicle will be Mixwell here, and Chronicle wins it. Doesn't need to back away yet either, so sharp beginnings for Chronicle. And willing to stick around a little further. Has Sheydos on site. More confirmation of attendance for Chronicle. That's so beautiful. He's done his warm-up today. AvovA has broken through now. So keep in mind that Defo is on an island. If they could identify that, that could be a problem. Or they allow just AvovA to be a nuisance. Be a bit of an issue in the backlines. Pause, hit the brakes, see if AvovA can do any more work. Slowly build back towards A. But if they lose another player on that A site, I feel like this attack may have been already halted from G2. Now, Redgar, he's been put on the case. It's his duty with Chronicle to just deal with AvovA. But keep in mind, AvovA's position alone has pulled 2 players out of position. So you got to now look at the other side of the pendulum swing, which would be Meddo, and it'll be, I think, Nukkye joining him. So these 2 need to now make that progress towards the site. But you can see that Mech's already read this. They're well aware. And rotation gets called again. Again, AvovA is being such a problem here.
Now that he's dealt with, Chronicle and Sheydos now can commit to this. Sheydos will find the first. Meddo actually going to find Chronicle as well.
I got the spike.
Last man standing. Finds himself in a 1v3. 10 seconds left here. I mean, if he can find it, he can potentially get the plant, but Redgar swing through from heaven. Really nice.
AvovA's lurks and presence that can be a problem. So really well handled by Mech. Oh, going to be popped. It's Mixwell now having to do a lot of work here if he wants to be the one to instigate something, considering the rest of the purchase. And Chronicle's feeling himself. You can see the confidence already brimming, and I like him utilizing Chamber as such. And Hoody potentially first on the chopping block, and decides to back away now, which is probably the right choice. Could have been overwhelmed.
This is interesting. Sheydos has got his ult here to remove Mixwell's tour de force, but he's playing a little deep here. I mean, Mixwell pushed up, but if it does get employed here. Chronicle going to open things up on the hoodie regardless. A big shock dart actually going to force them away on
Toxin
410.
screen down.
And they're being funneled. You just saw the smoke coming through as well. That's from Nats. A nice reactive play, a little bit more ability to do that. Mixwell, though, leading the pack, going to connect towards sheydos. Chronicle still alive on the back of the site. I guess that does remove the one player that could really be a problem to him, but Nats still wanted to try and punish. Nukkye finds Redgar. Hold on, that's not clean from Nats. That's a problem. G2 digging in their heels to this round. Defo now presented a 1v3. It's uncomfortable. The ult goes in. Why not? You want to secure this round. And Meddo with the perfect timing. Finding Defo, and it just really be quite a tonic almost to some teams. I look at Mech and I worry stylistically how they match up if G2 can keep this up. Now, again, I don't ever want to give discredit to Mech because I think everyone knows these are arguably one of the most reliable teams, consistent teams. They play to a very high standard, but Chronicle now going to be put to challenge already.
You should run.
Issues can be presented, doesn't quite find the connection he wants. He sticks around on this, has to finally fall away, but it wasn't clean. He did get a tag on Hoodie, but that's not enough.
Behind this lockdown now. Chronicle gets detained off it as well. That's going to slow things down in the retake here. Still 5v5. You've got so much time and space to set up here. You already control the top of 410 and not even sure how Mech breaks through on this. It's got to be Chronicle to find something.
Has to at least start something here. And again, AvovA's found Defo, shot and a half towards Nukkye.
Wow.
And now can they springboard? Can they somehow spiral off the back? Can they add that pressure? Not really. Chronicle again still doing the damage. Flash comes through towards 410. Does catch one, but already got the kill prior to it popping. And Nats can't do much about it. It's 4-1. G2, let's kind of take pause.
Curveballs, but G2 weren't able to do what they usually do, which is kind of scrap, right? They're so good at, and in particular, you look towards those thrifty rounds. I mean, we've talked about G2 so much recently in terms of no round is unwinnable for them, right?
Yeah. Well, this is a different look. Defo on the op. Spots at least one, maybe two on the back of that, but a big early intention now understood. And Defo trying to deal with all the utility being put to work. Mixwell might be his first real challenge if he actually decides to go for it. No. And respecting at least the counter utility invested for now.
I'm worried for Hoodie because once that smoke drops, actually Defo's got clear line of sight with the information confirmed on the back and now the recon bolt as well. So Defo can post up on this. And that's going to put another smoke down there to just prevent utility now being invested to clear Defo out, and he will be noted on the back of that shot.
Be a nice round, mid-round call coming out from G2. How to work around this up, and that's exactly how. G2 3 back-to-back despite theirs. Now this is still lingering around though, so that's the least claim of over on the way, but they did get a spike plant and a four-man swing. They don't allow that any room to work. As Chronicle, the 1v3 ain't gonna be easy. You can see, I imagine G2 will sit a little deeper now. They don't need to overly challenge. They don't need to overly push and give him opportunity. And the time just ticking away, and Chronicle might just be backing away from this. But we look at G2 and we could discuss the mid-round calling, and their mid-round adaptation doesn't become an issue, but their identifying of that op being now in Defo's hand and how they approached that site after noting that seemed very diligent.
It did, and it's almost like they're waiting out Nats' smokes, right? We were waiting for that kind of cool-down period where they do have a window of opportunity. On the back of the recon bolt as well, I think that's the green light. Right there, they don't want to allow a rotation to come through. Sheriff's not an awful lot else to work with. Looks like Defo might even try and go for the orb on 8. We will retrieve that, so Blade Storm will be available here, but G2 hightailing it towards B right now.
And probably a nice read off the back of what could have been a stack. Great idea coming out. Actually, Mech now pounce. They find that pressure coming through the middle, and this is perfect. What a way to crunch in, and I didn't mind the approach from G2, but Mech was so ready to react accordingly. And now AvovA, a 1v3. Doesn't have spike. That's a deep in enemy territory. Has first, but he will not follow up. Mech. What a bit of control on that, but obviously time being bought between Nats, but lovely combination, wasn't it? So again, it's a stark reminder that this is Mech, right? Like the name kind of alludes to the point, right? Like this is something to keep in the back of your minds. Now, Early ult
Chronicle.
invested, and Chronicle's gone walkabouts. Now I wonder, have they thought about it? Have they considered it? They didn't have any idea, but it's only a 1-1 trade. I thought there was going to be a follow-up to that. I thought AvovA was dead in the water. Not to be, it's a 4v4. Early reads coming out, though, but we are seeing a mid lurk coming through from Mixwell, or I say lurk, mid-pressure, should I say. As already he's starting to build up maybe towards Tube. He's considering it at the very least. And that is on the other side. So they do have a favorable fight towards the site, at least in a 3v2, and rotation will be a little bit trickier with that fact coming into play. But again, G2, pause for a second and maybe work through those smokes that are being put down in front of them.
It is a 1-for-1, but thinking about it here, it's the revive they lose. AvovA actually going to get the Viper's Pit available here with that orb on 8. There's 3 members of Mech staring them down from the other side of sight. Just looking at Mixwell's not made any further progress here, so it looks like he's intended to be a late piece behind this A plant. Maybe catch a rotation. Redgar does find actually nukkye will fall. Viper's Pit invested. Actually, Mech happy to fight this.
Yeah, this is systematic destruction. Mech are done backing away and respecting this approach that G2 are trying to bring. They're fighting them further forward. Nats is way on the back side. There's that secondary layer, but it's a little late in the day. 7 seconds, maybe not. The ult's still there, but Nats denies it. Spike now lost. This is all secondary. Nats just has to play his life. A couple more seconds, and it's done. The time's on their side, and yeah, the kill's there in the end.
Methodical push onto A site. I mean, it's taken a while. I mean, we're at round 9 now. Mech finally look as if they have it under control, so to say. It's actually gonna blind off the Aldrone there to deny information, but I mean, it's
It
key,
shows
right?
he's there.
Yeah.
Info is info, whichever way you get it, I guess.
I mean, it plants the seed to G2. There could be somebody playing a ratty spot underneath there. Any possibility. Again, Mixwell looking towards mid. I mean, similar approach here. A minute left. G2 is 4 stacked outside 8. It's going to walk up once again.
And I will eventually question G2's level of adaptation. It looks like Mech has an answer. I don't mind G2 trying this again, maybe with Mixwell being a little bit quicker on this, but Nats his positioning's already been a problem. You saw him at the top of Tube. You've seen him kind of ratting out on sight. Now this is again, Nat's going to find Mixwell. He's really holding that mid presence and being a problem. There goes the ult, and there goes the ult. Going to be gone away, but there's a swing. It's perfect. It's gorgeous work between the two of them. The synergy is phenomenal. Mech are just stunning to watch sometimes. It all looks like it's against them, and they just flip the switch, and it's there for them. AvovA has nothing to do but die in this. So many angles to worry about, but Mike talked me through that round. That was perfect. Still has the res as well, so very valuable to this round. But we have to wait and see now. So Mixwell, yes, gets seen, so that will at least deny Tour de Force coming out into play initially. And actually Chronicle again, this guy's looking for new ways to find new problems, but I think AvovA saw it.
Yeah.
He's got to have, a pixel now noted and seen. Ooh, he's a lucky boy to be alive. 10 HP is what he gets to live on.
Phantom moment.
Literally. It's going to be a little gut-wrenching, but they'll recover. And again, similar scenes, but I want to see if there's a pace change, if there's something new coming out from G2 here.
MAP actually going to catch a rover on top of 410. He's happy for the time being. All comes through. Need to actually, Chronicle will fall on about 10 HP, but Shock Dart will do the job. They do actually get a clean plant.
Oh, look at the base going back in, a little messy from sheydos, but desperately wanted to clear the front side of sight. Not going to be allowed in this instance, as already you can see this retake getting a little bit tougher. Defo, Nap, and Redgar, undesirable scenario, and no one really given many opportunities. Nukkye so ready for that, presented so well. And yeah, great work between the two. The pace change coming out from G2 here has been something that's definitely caught a little bit of an attention now from Mech, as Nat's going to do what he can on the way out. But they're all exiting. Back through snipe, catches Mixwell, 1 HP. But let's talk about what worked there for G2, because it did feel like there was a pace change to this.
I mean, yes, it's a pacey hit towards A, but I'm surprised. Well, this is the thing. They actually have the benefit of some conditioning here, right? If they do want to flex towards mid a little bit, I mean, they got shut down, stomped, actually, on the one time they tried to split B towards mid, but...
And again, the aggression from Chronicle. Desperate to try and pressure this. And Defo waiting for anyone to try and swing and maybe punish on it. There's Defo on the op here. Last time around, he was kind of forced very deep, very uncomfortably on the site. And a lovely shoulder peek from Mixwell to now garner the angle himself, so that's now his to work with. And it's little by little, the space gets removed from Mech. Chronicle now gone, and they start to work forward. Redgar quite loses it. Defo, yes, gets the trade, but it's a 2-for-1, and the site's now under G2 control. Flag banner is waving. They're going to get the spike plant, and now it's retake time. But what can they do with it? They've still got Nat standing, sheydos from Defo, so there's still a decent opportunity on this one. But again, they're going to have to clear sight. There's so much of that protocol to go through here.
Mixwell posted up as well. Kind of funnels them into the side where they're investing the wall. It makes it very difficult. A big paranoia comes through, but
Nice flash.
that's a beautiful flash. sheydos will find one. Everything going G2's way. sheydos, though, brings it down to a 1v1.
It's 20 HP in time, and Mixwell's already slipped the net. I like that from Mixwell, just adjusting. Does sheydos consider this? I don't think you do, and he doesn't. Got a little nervy there, but it's fine. Mixwell's fine. He had
3 and 8 right now. And even so, even if you'd call that 3 operator kills, there's no impact at all from him.
aggressive beginnings. I'm going to try and tuck Defo into a little bit more of a forward position as well.
It's just walking it again, man.
Yep, rinse and repeat. They don't have to overly adjust. Mech have now started to struggle a little on this. And the early protocol is at least forced the first line, that first contact, back a little deeper. But not too deep. Keep in mind, Defo's just around the corner, and Meddo outdoes him. Pound for pound, just wings it. Chronicle's still on the site, though. Isn't going to go down without a fight. He'll take one with him, but it's a trade out. G2 continue forward. Again, all effective trading, and Meddo has been quite the tip of the spear here. This guy's been very good so far today. sheydos still alive, as is that. And there's the backline defense. Meddo barely breathing. Mixwell is alive. 51 seconds and spike in hand. There's still a chance, but Meddo's HP is such a problem.
Finally, we might see them pivot towards B here.
There is somewhere else on this map.
It's 2 HP on Meddo. Mixwell,
That works.
no damage as of yet, but actually still got all his utility as well. So 2 traps to work with.
30 seconds
sheydos
left.
already making moves this way, but he's got a Guardian, so a 1v2 is going to be difficult if he finds both of them. We'll hear the
Has to
spike being
protect the spike
planted.
plant.
Spike planted.
Oh, another timing from Mixwell.
He had to protect the spike plant. That was his one major duty, and now already the denial on everything. It's just the rifle at his side, and Meddo's got 2 HP to try and work with. Nat's going to set this into motion. Meddo wants to dip in, and sheydos. That catch on Mixwell was everything to them.
Yeah, awful timing there because he pulls out another trap just to put it down close to the spike. And actually on the back of the orbiter, I didn't even know that Meddo was going to have his lock.
Got some burst potential on it. I want to see how this now looks for them. I do have to highlight, I've always enjoyed Meddo holding middle on this. I think he's one of the players that has had pretty career highlighting performances on this map, and that's a highlight and a half from Mixwell. Good beginnings, going to find Nats remove a great deal of the utility that could have been maybe invested into this round, and just taking away Nats is always a scalp to be claimed and one to be happy about. Follow-up tag, good work, but now just one left to play with. Still looking as Mech have crept the that's a free peek and a free call as well. Hoody's gonna be so aware now of what's gonna be coming down his way. Gonna find both of them, Defo and Redgar, gone, leaving sheydos and Chronicle. Speaking of though, Chronicle a little better equipped. The spike has been noted.
Standing.
And sheydos 8 HP. Not a pretty situation. And the shots aren't pretty either. That's gonna be G2 with the first and the second half.
They're planting the seeds really here to almost force G2 to not leave B the weaker side. Maybe commit a second player, but like you said, I mean, with Meddo's variation in utility, notorious on ICEBOX here for holding mid.
And this purchase isn't completely light for Mech. It's got a little bit of punch to it. You're looking for chip damage, potential vulnerabilities. The amount of ghosts coming out, Hoody and Mixwell both going to be sat on that. So again, it's not impossible to see.
They're desperate. They're desperate for G2 to do what I think everybody expects G2 to do, right? Which is get a little aggressive.
Yep.
G2's sitting pretty right now. I mean, they've even got nukkye over to support those 2 ghosts on B site. That's it. I mean, this is a horrible setup to push into. It's a Viper and a Killjoy on A.
Yes. Oh, AvovA, you're playing dangerous games there.
Yeah, he was suppressed.
Yeah, so backs away. Meddo's going to kind of be the one to now back to back contact and expectation. Going to find 2 for all of his troubles. AvovA just needs to play his life, wait for reinforcements, and he does.
The recon bolt.
Goddamn.
The timing.
Okay, Mixwell coming out to play. Purchase on the other side, far from perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at it on the back of minimal investment. Now we've got 2 Guardians here to kind of round out this, what should be a full buy round from Mech.
Oh, the information alone from that early contact, Mech should have a fair picture of what's, at least on the B side. They know where Mixwell is, they know where Hoody is. I don't seem to like that too much. It looks like they're going through, once again, the motions that they seem to happily do. They do the early contact towards B long, see if they can pull some utility, and they swing back through. Now, last time, focused towards the A side, it looks like they're re-exploring middle a little here, and it is nukkye on the other side, over by Tube, but he's certainly not alone.
I love that there. Meddo's actually holding onto his alarm bot until this wall is dealt with in mid. And then he just pops it down behind. I mean, look where he can play with the utility to support AvovA.
And it instantly nullifies any potential lurk in middle, any worry about that. They can peel away. That's great, just time being purchased. I like that. But again, Mech, they're a dangerous, dangerous team, even down to the last couple of seconds of AvovA's positioning. He's playing on finest margins here. Players noted, he knows what's coming his way. How much can he do? And he still blinks 1, but a quick trade out for sheydos. Pop on the ult. Now Meddo is going to be just the rifle at his side, and the burst potential from Mech is realized. You see it as clear as day. As Mixwell nowhere near the right side, he does have the op to hand, and how much does he want in on this?
No, very much. Again, there's no real possibility of him swapping out a weapon. Even if he finds a kill here, look at where all the deaths,
you're
all
right.
the death markers, are. So, yeah, don't fancy his chances in this scenario. But again, the regress there. I mean, on the back of the ability cooldown, sheydos, yes, his knife's dealt with, but it reveals the location of roughly where one player is, and they just collapse on it. And there was a slight advantage. Yes, this is E2 riding through a couple of Spectres and whatnot. We'll see exactly where the finances sit after this, but we'll see Mixwell conscious to hold on to this because that's in the first.
Deploying drone.
Quiet beginnings there. Not quite the triddle. There's 4 now build through middle.
Don't take me there.
Shadows traveling.
No.
3 players walking tube. They've got. I feel like Hoody's reading something into this. Feels a bit weird. Chronicle finds the net and actually turns on and finds Hoody. Tell me how they do it. I do not know. Mixwell is surrounded on all fronts. He's in danger. Legs 1, good fall, but now he knows the net should be closing. The call should have been made. Seemingly unaware how far in Mech could have got at this point, but again, AvovA and Meddo, they know that they've been playing that A site. They're well aware of this, and the breakthrough here from Mech is perfect. They found room to operate.
Meddo and AvovA now just looking to maybe do a little bit of damage. Backing away here. I mean, I don't expect anybody from Mech to go digging. They definitely want to have this bump to the economy. I say I'm comfortable, really. sheydos down at 1,000. Not sure where Redgar sits, but with that Guardian purchase in the previous, it wasn't really gleaming coming into this. This will be Mech's 7th, though. Thinking back now, this is the point where we really look towards that ult economy. Where does nukkye sit? Where does Mixwell sit? I don't think Mixwell's close yet. But I liked what G2 were doing towards mid. And it allowed them to lean heavier one way, and ultimately was the way that Mech were leaning. This time around, Mech was a little bit of a switch up here. Not sure if nukkye was actually suppressed off that. Yeah, I think he was actually, so he was noted.
But it being nukkye and not your Meddo or AvovA, that should be the green light. Absolute green light, and maybe a red light there for Defo getting caught out by Hoody. No rifle to be recovered from that just yet, but the wall might facilitate a little bit of recovery towards it, but Nats does find Mixwell. Again, look out for the power players, Meddo and AvovA. Nukkye's still found sheydos, AvovA's found Nats.
Ow.
This is not what you're meant to be seeing. The scenes here are unbelievable. Redgar and Chronicle, the last two standing, need to dig their heels in. Swing from Redgar, forced to fight. And G2 turned this round. This
nothing.
round.
And the crazy thing is, it was almost like that was the intention from the get-go. I mean, Nukkye's bought shields and a sheriff leaves them. Defo is having an absolute stinker as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't having any success on defense. Here, we're not seeing him create any space, but oh no. You hate that. Lothar somewhere is in tears. That Viper ult bug is one of the worst things to see happen in the entire game. They haven't adjusted just yet. I mean, they were looking to leave AvovA kind of on an island here with Tommy to hold down the fort on A, but Mech have almost played into this. Got 4 towards B right now.
Look at this deeper angle from Mixwell as well. Like, this is...
I mean, yellow is just such a horrible, horrible area to clear now with the changes.
Even with the knife coming through, actually gets away prior to it. Okay.
I mean, they heard the TP, so they can assume exactly where he was.
Now, again, Mixwell, the second spring to this next layer. Lovely work. Good pick towards Redgar, but the site's going to be now pressured. Chronicle finds Meddo, and Mixwell can't... I wouldn't repeat that unless there was something that facilitated it. But for now, actually, they're reading this a bit of a rotation. I think Nukkye's aware of this. They're very aware of this because you can already see that AvovA's leaning back towards that A site. Left. So Mech aren't necessarily ahead of the curve here as they maybe imagine they would be, which is a bit of an issue. But again, AvovA, utility down, going to try and funnel them forward, remove some of those lines of approach that they've been trying to depend upon. Nukkye on the swing, Nukkye and AvovA in perfect combination. The site's under control. G2, quick reads. And I think we've all seen this danger in G2 being like a dark horse, right? They are the perfect example of a dark horse team when you look in comparison to Mech, right? Like, compare it to other teams, maybe not necessarily. This is a different beast when you're fighting Mech. You have to bring a great game, which G2 always had the capability of doing, be it off the back of, you know, having a Nukkye day or, you know, AvovA's potential of clutch coming in, but it's actually a collective effort. It's every single piece of the approach. Chronicle now considered, they've got to be so hyper aware that Kitchen could have been compromised already. As Mech have started to explore, but now obviously giving away a little bit of the game here. But this hit worked last time. This pinch, this crunch towards B, utilizing middle. But adaptation now noted. Hoody's going to find sheydos. Good kill from Chronicle, though. Nukkye is dead and gone, buried. And G2 looking a little flustered as they're surrounded. Nax a little bit further ahead of where Hoody expected, but the response is in kind through middle, trying to retake a little bit of that space. And look where the spike is. Nats has to go on a recovery mission to try and find it. Meddo, unaware of maybe what they've done, has to go and clear back around. Actually take space back on towards B long. That's actually quite a nice little bit of a play here. As AvovA left towards Kitchen, and yeah, you're right.
He's repositioning here to potentially get the lockdown on B main.
30 seconds left.
TP onto site comes through.
Look who's behind. Look who's behind. Meddo has played this so well. There's that lockdown you were considering. This is next level play coming out from G2. I did not expect to see it from this side. And more for me. And Redgar, yeah, you can try and isolate one. How are you going to deal with the other? Both of them in such hard positions to cleanly clear. There's the re-aggress. There's the kill. G2 surprising here. 12 rounds on the board.
They look in total control.
Get out of my way!
I am loving watching this from both sides because Mech, it's hard to see them lose games in a weird way because they play such a good style, a good approach, but now it's time to see that delivered. Already going to get the first information on AvovA. He has to back away in now the follow-up. Redgar going to try and punish AvovA off the back of that tag. Does get a little bit of chip damage. I don't know if he found much of it. And one right back in kind. But sheydos aggresses. Finding Meddo in the meantime, now leaving AvovA sitting back towards the deeper side of middle. Mixwell controlling still towards Chronicle. And he's actually going to be leaning out quite early. Look at the space he's able to clear here. This is quick work from Mixwell and actually very valuable work. Two still tucked towards the side. He can't quite take them away though. Doesn't know the Nats is around here just yet. And Nats ain't moving. He's digging in deeper. He wants to try and keep this one in check. AvovA trying to clear towards the side. Mixwell finds sheydos. There's the swing from Nats. They didn't know he was there still. Nukkye, how does he even get one out of that? As Mixwell now in a 1v2. What can you do with this? Can you find the last two? He finds one. He's got a time limit though. He has to move quick and Redgar has the freest kill of his life. And Mech are still alive. Backy in this, but it does pack a punch. So, back underway. MAP1 on the line. 12 to G2, 8 to Mech. And similar scenes. It looks like somewhat rinse and repeat. And that's the different approach. So sheydos going to try and deny AvovA. So he's now just tucked in the corner, going to hope that someone can maybe take the first contact. Oh my God,
way.
AvovA! You are an animal! Absolutely unchained here.
Wow.
That is a shutdown.
Defenders
That
win.
is a shutdown and a shutout on map.